Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live on the GSMC Sports Network, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Having some technical difficulties, but we are online right now, and I cannot wait to talk about some awesome professional wrestling. So let's go ahead and dig on into it. But before we get into any of that, just want to remind you guys, of course, go ahead and hit up that tips and donations link, whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling. It's all good in the neighborhood. If you want to get something off your chest, we are all ears here at the network. This show is all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure you guys feel absolutely 1,010% comfortable to just share whatever, whatever's on your mind in terms of the world of professional wrestling. Don't be shy, drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really, really, really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on air, why not use that super chat? Go ahead and hit up that dollar sign right there. It's going to guarantee anything you guys put inside that little chat box there. It's going to be guaranteed to be featured, talked about, debated about, maybe even take place of a segment here on this show if it's that juicy. Make sure you guys feel like you are part of the conversation. This is our podcast just as much as it is the GSMC Wrestling Laureate. Your super chats obviously helps us keep the lights on all these amazing podcasts with these amazing podcasters who have one goal in mind, to make sure that you guys feel absolutely inclined to just chime in whenever you want. Definitely 1,010%. We don't want to be here yelling at the mic for like an hour. I'm just kidding. No, I definitely love a lot of feedback. That's something about professional wrestling that makes it so damn good, is that you always have a nice little back and forth conversation. When I'm talking sports, and honestly, I don't really like it when people, necessarily just agree with me with everything, and you're like, okay, well, that's not really fun. So, make sure you guys, donate to the cause, donate to the GSMC Sports Podcasting Network. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Podcast. Your support makes all the difference, so let's go ahead and, let's get the party started. Send in those super chats, send in those super stickers, those super duper chats, because you guys are super awesome, and together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat is not your thing, it's all good in the neighborhood. Make sure you guys hit up that tips and donations link. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. There's going to be some criticisms. There's going to be some debate. There's going to be some disagreement, and it's all good. Don't feel there's no such thing as a bad comment. No such thing. No hostility taken towards your wrestling laureate. I just want to make sure you guys are absolutely 1,010% ready to talk about some good old-fashioned wrestling. All right, so we're gonna talk about SmackDown. We got SmackDown preview tonight. We're gonna go ahead and dig on into it. Chelsea Green's set to battle Michin in the Women's United States Championship match. Obviously, I love the way that WWE has put the belt on Chelsea Green. I feel like she ultimately deserves it. She can definitely, kind of be that face, and that's something that WWE needs with their champions, especially with an inaugural championship. Like, if it's like Kehlani Jordan with the NXT Women's North American Championship. She kind of brought this sweetheart factor to it. She brought the fact that it does signify greatness, and she did defeat some competitors along the way. But it kind of sucks, because then after you saw the addition of Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and of course Zarya, and then now Jordynne Grace, if she winds up on WWE NXT. But with the Women's United States Championship, a women's mid-card belt was needed about 5 to 10 years ago. 5 to 10 years ago, you saw a lot of great talent in WWE leave because of just frustrations and creative, because necessarily you are going after just one prize. It kind of creates a bottleneck approach to it. Like, you have all these amazing, talented women's wrestlers trying to go after one goal, and WWE, obviously, especially Vince McMahon, you had your favorites. Vince McMahon definitely played favorites. It wasn't necessarily the right girl for the job. Wasn't necessarily the person who was working the hardest. Wasn't necessarily the person that's more quote unquote marketable. I don't want to say it out loud, but maybe Vince McMahon was like more or less kind of, quid pro quo, like what can you do for me? I'm just kidding. No, don't want to get into that. But I don't know. I just with this Triple H Paul Levesque era, I feel like you've seen the addition of the mid-card women's championship because he gets it. Unlike Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, they've never been inside the ring. They've never been backstage talking to frustrated wrestlers, even in the women's division. During the golden era, during the Attitude Era, during the the Renaissance period, maybe there was a pretty crappy period of WWE from like 2018 to about 2021 or 22. There was also the John Cena Ruthless Aggression era. There was that as well. I ultimately feel like Triple H is going to be one of the best, storyline tellers in the world, and I honestly feel like Chelsea Green, she's an antagonistic person, but if she drops the belt, this is like her third time facing Michin, and you've seen it in live sports, whether if it's the World Series, Super Bowl, or the Stanley Cup. If you face each other over and over and over again, something's bound to change. Something's bound to just be different. Something's bound to and I hope that Triple H doesn't just sacrifice this for the shock factor. The shock factor that Michin wins, because I like Michin, but let's just face it, Chelsea Green is a way better champion than she is. She's a way better, she's a way better face, and I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to be a jerk and be like looks and all that. Chelsea Green just finds a way to get under her opponent's skin, and at that point, you can have somebody like Jade, you can have somebody like Becky Lynch, you can have somebody like Alexa Bliss going after Chelsea Green because she's that ultimate heel. And, I've always kind of had this philosophy in terms of champions, in terms of WWE, that if WWE is kind of at a point where they don't really know who the top star is, who is going to be the face of WWE for the future, or the championship for that matter, you have to put it on a heel. Because if you put it on a baby face and if it doesn't work out, it just, I feel like it sets the company back. So sometimes, you put the belt on, on a heel just to kind of keep you going. A good example of that, obviously, you saw Damian Priest being a babyface. He was turned babyface as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and then it just really didn't seem like it hit home. But now you see with Chelsea Green, now you're kind of, you saw that with Liv Morgan as well. When they were like, oh, Rhea Ripley, she's out with an injury. I really, really want her to hold the title to represent Monday Night Raw going into this Netflix era. And I don't know. I just feel like right now it's perfect. It's perfect the way it is. Chelsea Green's going to obviously retain the WWE Women's United States Championship tonight on WWE SmackDown. Next, we have Motor City Machine Guns teaming up with Los Garza in a 4-on-4 match, taking on #DIY and Pretty Deadly. These are the 4 tag teams that are in the tag team division. I don't know where the Street Profits are going. Maybe they're making their way to WWE Monday Night Raw. Raw could definitely need a revamp in terms of the tag team division. And the Street Profits could definitely do that, And even in the past, you've seen the War Raiders, back then the Viking Raiders, with the Street Profits. I remember they were doing this promo where, they were going tit for tat. They were doing axe throwing competitions and basketball. I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of cool. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I love DIY. I really, really do. As they kind of screwed over Pretty Deadly. Los Garza, seeming like they were babyface or not babyface. Motor City Machine Guns are obviously, they have the love and the support from the fans. So it wouldn't really surprise me if you see a little bit momentum heading toward the Royal Rumble with the Motor City Machine Guns and Los Garza taking on DIY and Pretty Deadly. Next, we have Naomi battling Liv Morgan en route to the Royal Rumble. I love Naomi. I feel like she's an amazing, talented superstar. Liv Morgan, she's grown on me. She's definitely grown on me. When she was the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Champion, I was like, you know what? I don't really believe it. She's, she botches She botches some spots. The miscues are hard to miss. But Liv Morgan, every single time she gets into the ring, you can tell that she actually kind of cares. Not kind of. I feel like she does care. She does care. And honestly, Naomi, a veteran in WWE, Liv Morgan, definitely I feel like has a brighter future because I feel like Naomi needs to turn heel. And, we'll get into that a little, in a different segment. But, I am personally sick and tired of seeing the same old Naomi. Liv Morgan as a champion with her, with her bodyguard, Raquel Rodriguez. And then eventually maybe you can work it out to the point where you kind of have a Shawn Michaels and Diesel thing where Liv Morgan says and pushes around Raquel Rodriguez too much to the point where Raquel gets pissed off. And then she, turns up against Liv Morgan, and then bam, she wins the championship. You've seen that with Triple H and Batista in terms of evolution. It's just something that, that WWE does. And I feel like that would be pretty good, a good spot to put Raquel in the championship picture. But as of right now, I don't see Naomi defeating Liv Morgan cleanly. Jimmy Uso goes head-to-head with Carmelo Hayes. I love Carmelo Hayes. I do. I'm the number one draft pick in SmackDown. I'm so proud of it, and that's cool. Definitely, you should be that way. Jimmy Uso needs a storyline. If the new bloodline once again comes out to screw Jimmy Uso, it's gonna kind of suck. It's gonna be boring. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be dry storytelling. At this point, it doesn't really seem like this new young bloodline really belongs on WWE SmackDown anymore. Maybe you see Roman Reigns, on SmackDown, and maybe you see Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu make their way onto, Netflix on Raw. I feel like that makes most sense because as of right now, I just feel like, you can't really have Jimmy Uso constantly go at it with Solo's goons. Next, we have Kevin Owens talking to Cody Rhodes. Pretty much, this is hopefully the last. It is the last time they're going to speak. It is the last time. Thank God. I am kind of over this Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, storyline. Their feud. It's been decent. It has been decent, and I'm not trying to be a cynic about it because I'm not what's Kevin Owens really honestly doing because Cody Rhodes is going to retain anyways. But I don't know. If Kevin Owens loses at the Royal Rumble, obviously he's going to go to WWE Monday Night Raw, which is perfect for him at this point in juncture in his life, in his WWE career, because he just needs something new. And I feel like, Cody Rhodes, he needs a new competitor. We'll get into it with my WWE Royal Rumble preview, where he might actually have the juice to take out Cody Rhodes. But, CM Punk, he said it himself, he was, had a confrontation with Kevin Owens, and I know this is kind of like a sneak peek into SmackDown. I saw it on Instagram. I'm a bad boy. Basically saying that every single time Kevin Owens had a chance at the Royal Rumble to win a championship, he kind of felt, he faltered to it. He did not step up to the plate. He failed. He effed up. He is not the guy to hold a championship as of this moment. And, it's not KO's fault, because you have all these huge WWE superstars who are okay, you got to be the face. You got to be the face. Cody Rhodes was the face of AEW, of independent wrestling for quite some time. And then he brought it back to WWE. And I know Triple H Paul Levesque was probably you know what? If we have Cody Rhodes obviously achieved greatness all over the independent wrestling circuits like Ring of Honor, AEW, and a couple of others. And then he comes back to WWE, Dusty Rhodes' son, WWE legend. And, that's why he's the face. But, so I don't know. I just want to see something shocking. I want to see something shocking happen with this Kevin Owens storyline because I don't necessarily want to see Kevin Owens lose to the point where he kind of loses credibility. He loses his funk or his, just his swag. I want to see Kevin Owens in a different storyline, and I feel like he can be great. Obviously, maybe something with Sami Zayn could be something down the line. But overall, it's going to be pretty. It should be pretty awesome. It should be pretty damn awesome. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. Speaking of the WWE Royal Rumble, we're going to get into that. So, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds. So, sorry, excuse me. Do not go absolutely anywhere.